Hi, Will from MusicTech here at the NAMM show in Anaheim with Nate from Black Lion. Nate, how's it going?
It's going really well. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And what are we looking at today?
Today we're looking at two new preamps of ours that are going to hit the streets very soon. The top preamp is called the B173 Quad. It's very similar to our half rack version, but we actually took that and modified it to be lower noise. It's about 15 dB lower noise in the half rack version. There are 4 channels and a 2U chassis. It has stepped input gain and output attenuation.
What's the advantage of that for the user?
It gives you a lot of control over how you saturate the transformers. So there's a Cinemag input transformer and a custom Cinemag output transformer on each channel. So it's a very heavy box. It's 8 transformers in this thing. You have 2 high-Z inputs on the faceplate.
That's for instruments then?
That's for instruments, yeah, exactly. And then what's interesting about this is it has parallel outputs on the back, so you have 2 outputs per channel, so you can actually track a dry version of what you're recording and then an affected version of what you're recording at the same time. This will retail for $14.99 and should be available in about 8 weeks, roughly.
And it's based on it's the Neve sound sort of thing you're after, is it?
Yeah, it's inspired by a Neve 1073, but we took a lot of design liberties. It has a little more top end to it, and lower noise floor.
And the difference for a user then over any other Neve style preamp is what?
Yeah, we think of it as like a modernized version, so you still get a similar mid-range to the older vintage stuff, but it has a better, higher frequency response. It sounds a little more open, a little more top end. So it's not a clone by any means. It's like an homage to that.
And what else do you have for us?
We have below that the B12A Quad. So a similar situation where we took our B12A half rack and we actually modified that and we added output attenuation to it. So it actually gives you more control over how you're saturating the transformers. So you can actually do a lot of transformer saturation by increasing the gain and then attenuating the output with the output knob. It's 4 channels in a 1U chassis. 2 high-Z inputs on the faceplate, and just like the B173 Quad, it has the parallel outputs, Cinemag input and output transformers, that custom Cinemag output transformers also in this one. And this one will be out in about 6 weeks, and it'll retail for $11.99 for 4 channels.
For 4 channels?
For 4 channels, $11.99, yeah.
US dollars?
US dollars, yeah.
And okay, so this one, the sound of this is it's going to be good for drums and that sort of thing?
Correct, yeah. It's inspired by an API 312A design, but again, we took a lot of design liberties to do what we want with it in terms of shaping the sound. It has very modern transformers in it too. So it still has that aggressive mid-range, but a little bit more, a different top end to it than the original version. So once again, it's like an homage rather than a clone.
And tell us the price again?
$11.99 for 4 channels, yeah.
And all available now?
It'll be available in about 6 weeks, yeah.
Great, well Nate, thank you so much, really appreciate it.
Thank you, appreciate it.